Welcome everybody to the Redzone Report live Buffalo Bills versus New York Jets pregame preview show right here on the Built in Buffalo YouTube, Facebook, and X channels. Let's get into it, guys. Go Bills. Welcome everybody again to the Redzone Report. I'm your man Izzy here to discuss the Buffalo Bills Week 6 showdown on Monday Night Football against the New York Jets, the New Jersey Jets. That's what I call them because I don't care. They play in Jersey. Anyways, we're going to be playing in Jersey against the New Jersey Jets tomorrow. And to start off, we'll go ahead with the betting line. And the betting line is even. Spread is 2, and it's plus 110, minus 110. Bills are minus 110, so we're slightly favored. And the money line is 130, minus 130 on the Bills and plus 110 on the Jets. And so for those of you who know what that means, cool. For those of you who don't, all right. It's a very, very, very tightly contested game when it comes to betting, right? So you're not really going to make much money betting either way. And so Sandra L. King is in the comments already. Good evening, Mafia and Izzy. Good evening, Sandra. Welcome back. Daniel Gari's back in the building. Hey, Izzy, go Bills. Hey, Daniel, welcome back. And indeed, go Bills. Yeah. So the Buffalo Bills matchup predictor, I'm looking at ESPN right now, has the Buffalo Bills at 54.0% victory, and the Jets are at 45.6%. And so that last 0.4%, I'm guessing, is the chance of a tie. The Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, should win this game, but it's a tough one. Like the Jets defense gives us, fits. And last year we beat them 30-7 or 30-6. But the first time we played them, Josh threw, 3 interceptions and had a fumble loss. So Buffalo Bills, we got to make sure they play more like that second time than that first time. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we got our boys. I know that Ed Oliver's out this game already. I do not know about Khalil Shakir yet. So he's a guy who I'm hoping is capable of going. He's questionable currently for the game, Khalil Shakir. Darrington Evans is returning from IR. Taron Johnson's questionable. Ed Oliver's out. And James Cook is questionable. Questionable is good. Questionable is there's a slight chance they don't play. But most likely they're going to play. All right, so you got questionable, doubtful, and out. Only one who's out right now is Ed Oliver. For the Jets, C.J. Mosley is questionable. Tyler Conklin is questionable. Michael Carter, the second, is out at corner. And so I believe he's their nickel, and that gives us some chances there with Shakir. So I'm hoping that our boys, Taron Johnson, James Cook, and Khalil Shakir are all able to play, especially with Aaron Rodgers now, starting to look more like himself. Last week, he played pretty poorly, but, that's neither here nor there. Last week they were in London, I believe, and they played the Vikings, and the Vikings are pretty damn good. And they just could not get anything going. And so the Bills' defense is pretty stifling too, and we usually do pretty good against Aaron Rodgers, and we usually hold the Jets' offenses, to minimal gains. I do like what I saw this past week from Dwayne Carter, because Ed Oliver's out. So next man up is Dwayne Carter. I like what I've seen from Dwayne Carter thus far. He's been a good tackler. He's been pretty good at, getting up in there and stopping the run. But he's like, my man John Robert just popped up in the comments here. Dwayne Carter will need to step up even more, and he will. He will have to step up even more. Well, hopefully Dwan Smoot continues on that upward trend because he looked good last week. Dwan Smoot, the defense, if they can step up and defense like they had been before, then the Buffalo Bills should have less to worry about. And I'm hoping that the Buffalo Bills have less to worry about on offense because the offense really needs to get their stuff together, right? James Cook, questionable. Ray Davis, not really big of an impact yet. Hoping he grows into that secondary role. But if not, Ty Johnson's been playing well. The real concern here, right? And let's get into this, is the play calling, right? The play calling last week was pretty rough, was not pretty. Play calling the week before that wasn't great either. So the last 2 weeks we've had some rough play calling. Hopefully they can get back on the wagon, start calling some horizontal plays because we're not a vertical throwing team. We just don't have the personnel for that. Crossers, slants, ins, outs. Some sluggos every now and then. You get them biting on an inside or outside move and then go deep. Sure, but we shouldn't be running any fades. We shouldn't be running any deep balls other than with MVS and maybe Kalusha here to clear out some routes underneath. But we shouldn't have Mac Hollins, streaking down the field. We shouldn't have Keon Coleman streaking down the field. That's not what they do, right? They're just not strong at that. They need to be guys. They need to be running routes that are better suited to their skill set, right? My man Daniel Gary says pass catchers need to create separation. Indeed, and our guys don't do that down the field. Right? Even Curtis Samuel, who is a 4.33 speed guy, has never really been the type of guy to create separation, on 9 routes or fades or post corners or anything like that. He's more of a horizontal guy. He gets moving side to side, and then you hit him with the ball, and he can turn upfield. And I don't feel like we've been using him to his full potential, but that may be because of the turf toe issue that he had earlier. But I think that he needs to really dial it in. They really need to get these guys moving in ways that benefit them the most, because what benefits them the most is going to benefit the Bills the most, right? They got to get back on track. They were on track the first 3 weeks. I know we played a couple of bad teams. We played the Dolphins, who we always destroy. We played the Cardinals, who gave us a little hell, but we came out and won, came back. And then we played the Jaguars, who are, in football purgatory for the last, few years, even though they've beaten us quite a bit those last few years. They were a bad team that had our number. We finally took that over, and then we went on a little slump here. The Ravens running game, with no Taron Johnson out there to be that slot guy, was able to run all over us, along with no Terrell Bernard. Dorian Williams, has been playing pretty well. I like what I see out of Dorian Williams, but man, oh man, the offense really needs to pick it up. The blocking has been fine, right? The O-line has been fine. Josh needs to realize you don't have forever to throw the ball, right? You have, 3 seconds is when it should be out. With this offensive line, 3 seconds when it should be out. Most offensive lines is 2.5 to 2 minutes, 2.75 seconds. The Bills have about 3 seconds to throw the ball. So Josh needs to get back on his P's and Q's. He needs to get back to, what this offense has been good at and taking what the defense gives you. And we're not doing that right now. Right now, we're trying to impose our will, even though our will is not imposable. It's not something that we can actually do because it's not possible with the guys that we have. We have to really turn things in. We have to turn things in and look at the evaluation that we can give to the team. And the evaluation is not that great the last couple weeks. We, last week, lost by 3 to a last-second field goal, and we still should have won that game, and we performed like crap. Imagine if we won that game. We would still be like, hey, we played like crap. However, we still won playing like crap. That's not sustainable, but it would have been nice. And so the Bills need to dial it in. Even if they would have won that game, they still need to be dialing in. Let's see. Joe Brady did a lot more pre-motions. That seems to help Josh out. I agree. The pre-snap motions seem to get defenses going in directions that they don't want to be going, or that defenses that they do want to be going, but they don't know that they're being set up to go the opposite direction. However you want to say it, it's the same thing. Misdirections. And, yeah, we need to get back to that. We need to stop being cute, though. Like the pass to Josh Allen from Curtis Samuel, the backward pass to then Josh trying to throw it down the field. We can't be doing that crap. We're not built for that. Right? Teams are coming after us because we don't have the manpower. Terrell Bernard should blitz. He should blitz a little bit more, yeah, but he's also our one linebacker who can play coverage like that. It was nice to have him back. I'll say that. Let's see. Other teams has figured out our everybody eats game. Yeah, to an extent. I don't know if they figured out the whole thing. I think that the last couple of weeks, we've played right into their hands. We've played right into the hands of our opponents, and that is what's really causing us these troubles right now. Everybody can still eat, but you have to freaking make sure that everybody can eat. If you're putting them in places where there's no food, then, that's what it is. Right? You got Mac Hollins streaking down the field, and then Josh and him are not on the same page. So that's a struggle in and of itself. And now that we're struggling with that, because Shakir wasn't there to, keep defenses honest, it becomes a problem. It becomes a real problem. And Shakir is a key to this offense, and we really, really, really need him back. We really need Khalil Shakir back. He's by far the best wide receiver on this team. I mean, he has the NFL record for the most consecutive targets caught by a receiver. That's insane. And so they need to really figure that out. They got to get back to what works, because the stuff they've been doing the last 2 weeks doesn't work. Now, let's go ahead and look at some of the statistics here. Josh Allen on the season is 79 for 131. This past week, he was 9 for 30. It's less than 33% of his passes, guys. If he was 10 for 30, that's exactly 33.33333%. 9 for 30 puts him under 33%. See, so right now, everybody ain't eating. They're all on a strict diet. They are. They're on a strict diet. They're on that Lil Wayne strict diet, because that's what it's terrible. Shakir is the only wide receiver capable of eating. He's the only wide receiver on this team who is capable of eating while also feeding everybody else. That's what he is, right? So if Khalil Shakir eats, the rest of them can eat, right? Because one lion in the pride has to hunt, right? There has to be a hunter, or one wolf in the pack has to go out there and hunt. And then everybody else can come in and eat as well. Somebody's got to feed these guys. I know Josh is the quarterback, and you'd say he's the guy who feeds them. Yeah, he's the quarterback. He's the den. He's where everything stems from. But somebody has to take charge of the wolves that are going out there. And that is Khalil Shakir. He's that guy. The rest of those guys, they're not it. They need to, at this point, learn their place as secondary to Khalil Shakir. The only other guy on this offense that really can say anything who is not a running back is Dalton Kincaid. We also need to get Dawson Knox running. We need to get him out there blocking, catching, crossers. He can even go deep. We need to get Dawson Knox working again. We have 2 good tight ends, and we need to start using them. I sit here and I watch the Ravens with Andrews and Isaiah Likely, and they're using their 2 tight ends to great success. The Buffalo Bills really, really, really need to start looking at other teams and what they're doing and how they implement 2 tight end sets and work that into their ability, because that's tough. That's tough. See, I've been told the Bills have shown their cards. I don't think so. Just need to play team football again. I agree with that. I don't think the Bills have shown their cards. I think that the Bills this past week didn't have any cards because there was no dealer. See, Joe Brady needs more variety. I agree. See, Big Green, Brees is going off. I'm guessing we have a Jets fan in the house, and welcome to the Redzone Report, our fellow AFC East member. Brees Hall going off is interesting because he's got 65 carries for 197 yards and 2 touchdowns, while James Cook has 70 carries for 309, 4 touchdowns. So good luck with that. He's not Derrick Henry. Our guys are not going to be scared to hit him. He's not 250 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal running on the field, super fast. So Yeah, he's quick, but I don't know if he's navigating this defensive line like Eric Henry did. That was crazy. But yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. It might be a rough night for you. Then again, it might be a rough night for us. So we'll see. See, I agree. The tight ends involved. Yeah, getting the tight ends involved is going to be very important in this game. The Jets corners, the outside corners, especially DJ Reed right now, that boy's going off. So this game is going to be Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, James Cook. Like we're gonna have to depend on the guys who are not on the outside. So, Keon Coleman, once they take eyes off him and you run some screens to him or some short routes where he's not, trying to get down the field, that could be nice. But this game's going to be about Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, James Cook, and Dawson Knox. They need to get that going. See, I would like to thank Bean for assembling a arse receivers room. Haven't believed in this room since the draft ended. That happens, Roy, because salary cap issues. I think we all knew what was going to happen, but it is what it is.
I don't care.
See, RPY against who, DJ or Sauce? I'd attack the run game if I were you guys. I agree. Big Green, I agree. I agree, Nail, because that is the teeth of your defense. Surprisingly, this year is the outside corner, Sauce and DJ. Those two guys outstanding. Your safeties are a little suspect, but they're not terrible. They're not bad. Jordan Whitehead's not there anymore. I know that. If I look at the Jets roster here or the Jets team, let's see depth chart. Will McDonald's been pretty good. Javon Kinlaw is mid, but Quentin Williams is outstanding. Michael Clemens is a starter. Yeah, we might have to run at y'all. Michael Clemens he's a third defensive end. I wouldn't count on Michael Clemens as a starter, but he's starting for you guys. And that's unfortunate for you guys because you guys went and grabbed Hassan Reddick and he doesn't want to be there. And I don't understand why. I mean, I'm not a Jets fan and I wouldn't want to play for the Jets because I hate the Jets. I'm a Bills fan. But like he's pulling a career suicide move. I don't like what he's doing, even though it's the Jets. I don't understand what he's doing, even though it's the Jets. He could be a real difference maker for that team. So right now he's screwing the Jets, and I like that part about it. But as a person who enjoys football and as a person who likes people doing the right thing, I don't think he's doing the right thing. I think he's really being a detriment to, not just the Jets himself, but he's being a piss poor example for the league. I don't really like what he's doing at all. I think it's nonsense. And so, we'll deal with that as it comes. See, check the Allen is though. Okay, I don't know what that's about. No one is scared of this wide receiver room. We don't need to be scared. You don't have to be scared of a man with a gun for him to shoot you. You don't need to be scared of a dog who, may bite you. You don't need to be scared of him from to bite you. It is what it is. We'll see. Cook is questionable, so most likely he's playing. See, Bean needs a trade point blank period because this ain't it. I agree that he needs to trade for somebody. I may not agree with who to trade for with most people. Most people are saying Devontae Adams. We ain't got that kind of cash. And you're going to have to give up a high draft pick to get him on a 1-year rental. If you believe that this is our Super Bowl year, then fine. But I don't necessarily believe it is. I think that this is kind of a year where they're restocking the cupboards. They're starting to restock the cupboards. They're out there paying players who are inexpensive, and those who do well can stick around, and those who can't, bye. So Diggs alone has more yards than MVS, Sanders, Mack, and Coleman combined. I mean, that's cool. I would expect that from Stephon Diggs, though, because Stephon Diggs is dope. He's good. He's not a Bill anymore, but he's still good. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that Stephon Diggs is trash. He's not. But it is what it is. See, everyone can eat when Josh isn't locked on receivers. He played like crap against Houston. Don't blame the receivers. I blame both. As a matter of fact, I blame the entire offensive staff, from the last player who was active on the roster all the way to Joe Brady. All of it. Josh takes a big hit on that because Josh is the quarterback. Josh is the quarterback. Right? Mac Hollins got open a couple times. He could have hit Mac. If he'd hit Mac in stride, Mac probably catches those balls. However, him and Mac don't have the chemistry, I guess, as people say. I think it's unfair for the criticism people have been giving to Mac Hollins. I think that's been a little bit unfair. Not 100% unfair, but just a little bit unfair. Because Josh could have hit him in stride, and Mac would have had a nice game, but it is what it is. I also don't like the play calling that was involved in that. So, there's a lot of blame to go around, but Josh definitely gets a big piece of that. So I'm with you, Silas. Josh gets a big piece of that blame. See, I don't hate the Bills, I hate the Patriots. I don't hate the Jets on the same level as I hate the Patriots. A lot of Jets fans are very disrespectful. You're actually pretty respectful. So you actually give me hope for the Jets fans. Maybe I get along with some more of you guys. I got a couple of Jets fan friends. I got a couple of cousins who are Jets fans up in Rochester, where I'm from in New York. But it was crazy when I went to MetLife and watched the Bills play the Jets. I did get to meet the mother of Deion Dawkins before the game and Stephon Diggs' mom after the game a few years back when I went to East Rutherford. We stayed a 10-minute walk from the stadium. So me, the wife, and my brother went to the stadium. We grabbed pizza while we were there. It was awesome, but a lot of Jets fans were saying some nasty things while I was in the car. The least nasty thing that I heard was, "Are you wearing Buffalo Bills underwear?" I wasn't, but I replied with yes, just to see what his face would look like. And then he said he knew I was gay, and so I was like, "All right, we'll just go ahead and roll on with that." It was Jets fans are different, so we'll say that. So you can't keep signing these below-average recycled receivers. We cannot. But we also can't afford to sign the big-name ones yet. It's coming here. Wait for it. But there is Amari Cooper out there who the Buffalo Bills could sign or trade for, who's only $1.2 million in the cap. He's the number one wide receiver. Right now, he's still playing good ball. I'm going to pull him up real quick. Amari Cooper. He's a guy that I find very interesting. And I know some Bills fans have been cold on him, at least when talking to him. If I pull up Amari Cooper, I guarantee you he's been solid this year. It's just his quarterback is absolutely garbage. Let's see. PFF rating of 63.8, not bad. 44 targets, 20 receptions. Yeah, Deshaun Watson doing a great job throwing the ball. 208 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, 5 drops out of 44 targets. So 44 targets, 20 catches, 5 drops. That's 19 passes that were off target to Amari Cooper. 19 off-target passes. That's horrific. Horrific. So do you feel they will call anyone up from the practice squad? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, if they were gonna, they'd probably do it for speed because right now on the offense, there's not a lot of speed. There's James Cook, there's Khalil Shakir, there's supposedly Curtis Samuel, and there's MVS, who's only good for one thing. Get downfield, we throw you it deep. That's all he's good for. See, between the Finns, Patriots, and Jets, I hate the Jets the least. I mean, we have a winning record against them. Why would you hate them the most? However, still hate them. Hate the Jets still. Like, they're a division rival. I hate all of my division rivals. And then there's certain teams around the league that I hate as well. Like, I hate both the Steelers and the Raiders. Steelers are too close to home. Steelers fans talk a lot of crap. Hate the Raiders because they're the Raiders. I don't know what it is. They're hateable. Hate the Cowboys. Everybody knows why. Hate the Giants. Less than most teams, but still hate them. The Commanders, for some reason, I don't hate, even though they beat us in the Super Bowl. But, they're also not a team that's a New York team, so there's not a lot of, friction there. They're just kind of, we beat you in the Super Bowl. Okay. But, yeah. There's teams here, and there's select teams that I really don't like. There's teams that I do like. Surprisingly enough, people find it surprising that I actually do like the Ravens. I just don't really like Lamar Jackson that much. Although he's been playing pretty good lately. Can't lie. Bean does not have a great record of acquiring good wide receivers in free agency. Outside of Brown and Beasley, it's not so good. Hollins, Samuel, and MVS last year, Sherfield and Hardy. Bean needs to do better. He does. He does. See, I'd say yes. All right. See, Amari Cooper, you could trade for. Yeah, Amari Cooper's the guy I'd love. See, I disagree. These receivers are awful. I'm not saying that they're not awful, but I think they're awful because they're being put in a position to be awful. Like the first game against the Cardinals, right? First touchdown, Mac Hollins beats his guy on a quick inside post route, right? Was he awful then? No, he wasn't awful then. He did exactly what he was supposed to do, and Josh hit him in stride. I don't know what they're running right now to make him all look so bad, but they're looking horrible. I think Josh Allen, DK Metcalf can connect. I like DK Metcalf, but there's something about him I don't like. Right, he should be the number one receiver in Seattle, like by far. It shouldn't be close, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it, and I don't know what it is that he's got going on. I don't know, but something is going on there, and DK Metcalf is not impressing me at all. We'll go to their page real quick. DK Metcalf, where stats? So their leading wide receiver is DK Metcalf with 31 catches, 469 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's got 2 touchdowns in 6 games. 6 games. 6 games. I know it's Geno Smith throwing the ball, but something's going on there. He's having some issues with some drops, but I wouldn't be mad if they traded for him. I'm not the biggest proponent for DK Metcalf. I'll leave it at that. See, the Patriots fans make you hate them. So do Jets fans. This guy's not so bad, but Jets fans do too. See, will Greg show up tomorrow? I don't want to call him no show anymore. I'm the same. Greg Rousseau needs to step the hell up, right? He's not hurt. You're not injured, bro. You need to be out there sacking quarterbacks. Came out all piss and fire in the preseason. All of a sudden, you come out week 1, you have 3 sacks and I haven't seen you since, bro. I haven't seen Greg Rousseau since. And then this past week, he missed a sack on freaking CJ Stroud. He got shook out of his shoes in the backfield before CJ Stroud went and ran for a first down on us. That drive should have been over right then and there. But he missed him. See, Cleveland lost again today, so maybe they're getting closer to a trade. Hey, the closer the better. See, I sure hope Josh isn't intimidated by Rodgers. I know he has a lot of respect for him. All right, let me see. Do I have a Giants-Bengals prediction? I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that you should take the over in that game because those defenses suck. Especially the Bengals. I got the Giants winning that game. I don't like the Giants. I don't like the Bengals either, but I really don't like the Giants. Because Super Bowl and New York and all that good stuff. But I got them winning that game. I got the Giants winning that game 24-21. Yeah. See, Cooper has a ton of drops. He's not having a good year. He's not having a good year because his quarterback, though. His quarterback is hot doo garbage. Suck. Deshaun Watson is having. Let's just say that he is taking the Cleveland Browns for everything they got. It is horrible to see a franchise done that way, but it's the Browns, so the Browns going Brown. It is what it is. See, I still want Cooper, though. His presence will open up the field for everyone else. I think so, too, and I think that having a guy like Khalil Shakir as his number 2, because as of right now, I have Khalil Shakir as a true number 2 wide receiver. He is supplementing currently as a wide receiver 1. He's doing a fine job of that, but he's not that guy at this point in time. He's not a number 1. He could develop into a number 1, but as of right now, I think Khalil Shakir is a solid 2. And so you bring in a number 1 wide receiver, even though it's not a high-end number 1. Amari Cooper's not a high-end number 1, but he's a number 1 regardless. He can make plays and take some heat off Shakir. You give him someone like that, I think Shakir can eat. Right, and I think Cooper will eat, and I think that they'll benefit Amari Cooper for having a better quarterback throwing to him. It'll benefit that quarterback because now he's not going to have to sit there for 35 and a half minutes in the backfield waiting for someone to come open. He'll have guys who can get open. And I think that makes a lot of sense. See, Ed Oliver and Miller out. Greg needs to step up. Yeah. With Miller's unfortunate suspension, even though there's no charges filed against him, and the whole thing seems like it was a bunch of BS, even though it might not have been. Come across, but as I was saying anything negative towards the victim, if she was a victim indeed, but craziness. See, I think Smoot will play more inside this game. I think so too. With Ed Oliver being out on passing downs, I would estimate that Smoot's going to see some reps on the inside, especially on third and longs. I think he can get after Rodgers. See, I'm selling for Buffalo Bills, New York Jets Stadium. No, you're not on here. You're not. Block user. Bye-bye. We don't play that game here. You ain't selling nothing here. And delete the comment. Bye-bye. See, are you going to have a prediction for tomorrow night's game? I will at the end of this stream. I still have to go through some more stuff, but we get sidetracked a little bit, but we're talking football here, right? And so I'm down to talk football. If you're a 49ers fan or if you're a Cowboys fan or a Cardinals fan or whoever, jumps in the comments and wants to talk a little ball, I'm going to talk a little ball, baby. And the Bills fans will have, some stuff. So, yeah. Agree. Rumor is Miller is going to be traded. Maybe. I'm actually a little surprised that Casey Toohill's been playing pretty well. But he's also not supposed to be a starter. So if you were to trade away Von Miller, your starters are still Epinesa, Rousseau. You then have Smoot, who's been stepping up since the injury, and Casey Toohill, who has been balling. So I like what I've seen out of Toohill. I like what I've seen out of Smoot more recently. So if they were to trade Von, what am I to say? That is what it is. So you have to let Coleman eat and give him more 50-50 balls. Kid's a freak. I agree with this right here, but I don't think that they should necessarily be way deep down the field. Right? 20 yards of depth, 30 yards of depth. That's a deep pass technically, but I think that's fine. But streaking down the field, 40, 50 yards, Josh dropping a rainbow, he's not that kind of receiver. But 50-50 balls, absolutely. You're in the red zone. You're on the 19-yard line. It's freaking 3rd and 7. You get him running for the goal line. Not the back end zone line, but the goal line, the front end zone line. You throw it up high. He can go up and get it. Boom. Give him some more of those. See, I like that Cahill has made a presence, or Toohill. I know what you meant. Cowboys got whooped, and good for them because I don't like the Cowboys. My buddy's a Cowboys fan. He's here with me, but he's more of an NCAA fan. Like he literally yesterday took me to go watch the Syracuse Orange play against the NC State Wolfpack. I live down here in North Carolina, and so they were down here, and he was like, "I'm going to we're going to the game." I was like, "We should probably go to that game, man." He was like, "I'm paying for everything." I was like, "What?" He's like, "I haven't been to a college game in a while, so yeah." And he just loves college football. That's his thing. Is college football. So yeah, I appreciate him very much for that. He even drove. See, AJ Epinesa needs to step up a lot more also. So he's been getting his pressures, but he has not been getting the sacks. That's the thing with Epinesa. If you look at if you watch his tape, the tape is not bad. He's just not getting there like someone else we know. But unlike Groot, we don't have this expectation of Epinesa to have 12 sacks on the year. We don't expect that from him. We expect 6, 7, 8 tops. I think that the expectation for him is 8 sacks tops, between 6 and 8 sacks. They need to show up here soon because when most of us are not impressed with what we're seeing from Epinesa lately. But if you watch the film, it's not bad. So not an actual rumor. A CBS reporter proposed a scenario for trading Von. Nothing more than that. Mountain out of a molehill. Look, I don't know if it's a thing. Someone else brought it up. I just commented on it as if it was a thing. If it is a thing, it's a thing. If it's not a thing, all right. Just make sure he retires after he reports. Please, Vaughn, and thank you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and yes, the offense and defense have been lacking on third down. Jacob Smith, I didn't know the Bills were playing the Jets. LOL. I'm pretty sure it's the Giants. No, we're playing the Jets. The Giants are playing against the Bengals. Yeah, it's a division rival week game today or tomorrow for the Buffalo Bills. Let's go. Damn, Detroit's pounding them still. 47-9, or is that game over already?
Yes.
Is that game done? No, 2 minutes left. Jesus. Have mercy, guys. What are you doing?
I told you they scored at least 40.
Yeah, well, they did. All right, well, that being done, let's go back to the Jets versus the Bills. Khalil Shakir, he has 18 receptions. He missed a game, obviously, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Jets' best receiver, Garrett Wilson, 33 receptions, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns. They're pretty comparable statistically on the year. Let's see. Cooper is a proven route runner. Trading for him will help this offense immediately. Josh should be better. These receivers have been open, and Josh is ignoring the underneath. Yes, Silas. Yes, I agree with that last part right there. She said these receivers have been open, and Josh is ignoring the underneath routes. Yes, he has, and that's what we won on the first 3 games. We weren't winning big and deep. We were winning on the short, shallow routes. You send people deep to open up the downstairs, right? So you can then pass downstairs, and then those guys can get deep on their plays. And it looked like Josh was having a blast doing that, but he must have freaking got bored. And so now all the underneath stuff he's blind to, right? He's like a horse with the freaking things, and all he can see is down there. No, open your freaking peripherals and look at who's around you. I agree with that 100%. You are totally correct on that. And I think that right there is key. He has to freaking take what's given to him, right? You don't have the receivers to where you can force the ball downfield and expect these guys to snatch the ball out of the air unless it's Keon Coleman or Dalton Kincaid. Everyone else, no. Like, for MVS to work, he's got to be totally wide open. Or the defender's got to be behind him and he's got to be running away from him. And so when he catches the ball, if they catch him, he still has the ball without any resistance on the ball. He needs to really open his eyes more. Because he's playing football like the only thing available is 20 yards deep. No. Hit somebody for 3 yards and let him go up. And also these damn screen passes they keep calling to freaking Curtis Samuel. These little screens. Look, I'm not a screen guy. I don't like screens particularly. If they work, then they work. And if you can make them work, then fine. But I'm not a fan of screenplays. I think that they're just not exciting to me. That I don't know. They do nothing for me. Oh, I had to mess with you. Go Bills. Though I'm taking the Bengals and the Bills on a parlay. I think Bengals need this. The Bengals need it, but I don't think they have the defense for it. And that last week, Daniel Jones turned it on. Not a fan of the Giants at all. Can't stand the Giants, but I think that the Giants are going to win that game. And that's hard, bro. That's freaking difficult. I think Tampa was game of the day. The Tampa game was outstanding until it wasn't, because they were beating the Saints really bad, and the Saints came back, took the lead, and then Tampa was like, hey, what are we doing? Like, they poured it back on them. It was like the Bills game against the Cardinals, where Cardinals got up on us, and then we came back, took the lead, except we didn't let them have it back. We just didn't. When they kind of came back a little bit and got close to us, we were like, nah, what are we doing? And poured it on them. So I don't think that I think that was a damn good game. I'll give you that. It was a good game. It was the most exciting game of the day, and I liked what I saw out of Spencer Rattler. I'll say that. See, a loss, hypothetically, tomorrow makes you feel what should be done. So if the Bills lose tomorrow, depending on the fashion of the loss, right, we have trouble with the Jets. Let's just deal with the reality that is. The Jets give us trouble. if we go out there and get spanked, I expect the Bills to start looking for trade partners immediately. I expect the Bills to start looking for trade partners. If we go out there and we lose 21-17, or if, last second field goal again, but the Bills look good and the Jets look good, let's say both teams have a solid day. Say Rodgers goes out there, throws for 250, 2 touchdowns and interception. Josh goes out there, throws for 275, 3 touchdowns, interception and a fumble. The running backs, James Cook gets 85 yards, and freaking Brees Hall goes out there and puts up 75 yards on 15 carries or whatever it is. And the game is just solid. The defenses aren't giving up everything, but they're not, they're bending but not breaking for most of the game. And it turns out 21-24, something like that. Like I'm okay with that kind of game. I'm not okay with a loss. So I don't want people to misconstrue that, because I'll say I'm okay with that kind of game. If we lose that kind of game, I'm not that upset. I'm upset that we lost. That part doesn't go away. But I'm less upset that it's, that it's a game that was neck and neck and both teams came out to play. But last week we lost the game. Both of our teams looked like dog shit. Like the Bills and the Texans both looked like crap. And because the Bills and the Texans both looked like dog shit, I mean, I know their boy threw for 300 yards, but he also had a fumble lost, and he had an interception, and eventually we were able to stop their run game. But, like, last week's game was terrible to watch. Like, it wasn't even a good game to watch. It was hard to watch. It was piss poor. It was piss poor. See, my man Kebby, especially at MetLife. Yeah, that's true. We need to not have penalties. I'm hoping Wooch is there too. Izzy, I disagree respectfully. We need to make a trade regardless. I don't believe in moral victories. I agree. I think that if we lose that game by 10 points or more, that they are definitely immediately going to that thing. I'm not saying that they don't need to regardless. I'm saying that I predict that if we get our butts whooped by 10 points or more, then they are definitely going to go and start handling that business. So what I predicted for them to do and what I want or think that they should do, two different things. Because I think they should be looking for a trade right now. They should be looking to go and get Amari Cooper right now. They should have a trade in place right now to go get Amari Cooper, send them a third and try and get back a fifth, and send them, a sixth to go with it. Boom. There you go. We'll take Amari Cooper, and then, the Browns can figure out their future from there. I think that they need to have a deal on the table right freaking now. And that's what it is. The Buffalo Bills need to be talking trade right now, my opinion. But what I think is going to happen versus what I want or believe needs to happen are all different things. Let's see. The Texans gave us a gift, and we gave it back. Yes, we did. When your quarterback is 9 of 30, and you're tied, and you hot potato the victory back to him, it's you deal with it. So if we get spanked, we need to fire McDermott. The fire McDermott stuff's confusing to me. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like this year, we all knew what this roster is. Everybody knew what this roster is, Jacob. And I love you, buddy. You know I do. We all know what this roster is. It's not Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, Gabe Davis, John Brown. It's not that roster. This roster is depleted at receiver, specifically. People were thinking at DB. I think at DB we're fine. I think safety is hurting a little bit because it's a rookie right now, but other than that, our outside corners are outstanding. Damar Hamlin's been playing fairly well. The defensive line has been playing pretty decently. The linebackers, even the backups, have been playing pretty decently. But we all knew that after last year, this team was going to have to go and play Moneyball, and that's exactly what they're doing. See, Buffalo loses. Is McDermott on the hot seat, or is he on the hot seat now? I don't think that a loss to the Jets puts us on the hot seat. I think that if we end this season and we're not a playoff team, he gets on the hot seat next year. I think that that's what that'll be, because you're now on your second rotation, right? The first rotation, you drafted Josh, you drafted Edmonds, you drafted Milano, you drafted Deion Dawkins, but now you have to put together a roster again, right? The roster must be put back together. This year was year one. You're evaluating talent, basically, playing Moneyball. Maybe you still win the division, but if they miss the playoffs this year, expect that seat to get real warm next year. Excuse me. I think it hinges on that, man. We've had some losses that were suspect, but we'll see. What's up, Robbie? How you doing, baby? He's not going anywhere. I don't think so either. I don't think that he's on the hot seat at all this year. See, the roster didn't have poor coaching in the fourth quarter. Yes, it did. The roster definitely had poor coaching on the fourth quarter, because the roster probably would have won that game if they didn't have poor coaching. You got to choose your words a little better, buddy. You got to use a little bit better. It happens sometimes. A coach has a bad game. Players have bad games. Everybody has a bad day at the office, man. Everybody has a bad day at the office. Sean McDermott's had a lot more good days at the office than bad days. He does need to get better. He does need to clean it up. I won't disagree with that. See, can you put the link in the comments for my play-by-play tonight? Put it in there, and I will repeat it. Paste it in there, and I will repeat it. Gabe had 2 TDs, but also dropped 2 TDs. That's Gabe. that's Gabe. Yes, I agree. Hamlin has been playing good ball. He's been playing solid ball. Now, is DeMar Hamlin playing elite, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer football? No. But he's been playing solid ball. Like, sound, he's doing his 1/11th. He's not exceeding, but he's playing well. See, yes, I agree. Don't say he's not. He's not. Oh, playing good ball. Okay. See, I'm okay. Is he just feel under the weather tonight? Hey, man, I feel you. Look, I was out till like 1:30 last night when I got home. We arrived from NC State because that school's about an hour and 5 minutes away from the house. And the game ended. What time did the game end? 12-ish. So we got out of the stadium. We got to the car. My son was with his girlfriend, so we went and scooped him up at McDonald's after they dropped him off there. And then we drove home. And since then, my nose has been a little stuffy. So I don't know if I sound different tonight, but I've been a little stuffy. But yeah. All right, let's see. So this is the link to Jacobs. Let me see. And hey, Jacob, send me that in Messenger, man. It won't let me copy it. So send me in the Messenger. Dorian Williams has been playing well. So Dorian Williams has been getting better and better week by week. Right? Week 1, the coverage skills weren't really there, but he was, hitting anything that freaking moved. And then his coverage skills have slowly been starting to pick up. He had a batted ball this past game that I remember seeing. Dorian Williams is slowly but surely picking it up. I am day by day getting more and more comfortable with the end of my favorite player, Matt Milano's era in Buffalo. I know it's coming. It's probably a year or two away from now. Next year, they really can't cut him because contract. But the year after, they can. They could probably potentially trade him after this coming year. Make it a post-June 1 thing. But, man, Milano's my favorite player on this defense. And he's missed, but Dorian is starting to understand. And so I like what I'm seeing out of Dorian. So you're feeling another loss. Hey, however you feel, I understand. Let me check my phone. See if my buddy here. Sent me this link. Boom, there it is. Okay, cool. Pull that up right here. Now, Jacob Spears. Copy. Let me close that crap out before it starts dinging on my computer, annoying the heck out of me. Boop. Boom, all platforms. Check out my buddy, Jacob Spears on Spears Bills Talk. There it is. It's out there, Jacob. See? Boom. I got you, buddy. We need a new kicker. I don't know about that. He's only missed what? 1, 2 kicks? Let me look. Let me check that out. Bills. People keep bringing up the kicker. I don't know. Stats. Defense, scoring, turning, kicking. Tyler Bass. He's made 8 out of 10. He's 80% on field goals, which should be better, but only 10 field goals attempted. His longest was 50 yards. They made it 50. He's 2 and 4 between 40 and 49. So he needs to work on that. But I don't know if we need a new kicker. You're welcome, Jacob. So we didn't lose because of him last week. No, we lost because of Josh and freaking I almost called him Dorsey because he called that game like Dorsey, Joe Brady. So Dorian is a tackling machine, just needs to work on his coverage skills. He's been working on them. I think he's been much better. So because you keep missing field goals a lot, this is why we need a new kicker. He's only missed 2 out of 10. He's not missing that many right now. See, our O-line was embarrassed against Texans' D-line. I would agree with that if Josh Allen wasn't holding the ball for too long. There were times where Josh held the ball for too long. He was looking for the deep passes, and he had guys open short, and he wouldn't take those. And Josh needs to work on Josh things before we start pointing fingers at Deion Dawkins and other guys. Now, there were some penalties on the offensive line. Freaking Spencer Brown needs to work on that discipline. Osiris Torrance needs to work on where he puts his hands. Otherwise, David Edwards, solid day. Connor McGovern, solid day. Although there was that scare with Connor McGovern thinking that maybe he might have been hurt. Deion was pretty mid that game, but it wasn't terrible. But they need to start using their checkdowns. Josh wasn't using his checkdowns effectively in that game. And when they see that he's got these eyes that are just staring down the field, they're going to blitz you because those plays take a long time to develop. Because they take a long time to develop, that gives them time to get to you. And so that's what happened with Josh Allen. Now, looking at the guys who are playing in this game, I think the key to the Bills' victory is James Cook in this game. James Cook is going to be a key to the Buffalo Bills' victory this week because the Jets' D-line isn't a lot to deal with. Quentin Williams and Will Anderson, those 2 guys, that's about it. Son Reddick's not playing. Clemens is meh. And Javon Kinlaw, not impressed. I think that the Bills need to run the ball. And I think that the Bills need to focus on, let's see. See, one of the kicks he missed was in a win. And the other one was in the Ravens game, which wasn't decided by 3. No. James Cook is questionable. He's questionable, but he's going to play. He's probably going to play, and he's going to be a key to the game. Running the football is going to be key. Let's say he doesn't play. The running game itself is going to be a key to the game. If he's not playing Ty Johnson and freaking our boy Ray Davis, they're going to have to step up. But I'm 90% sure James Cook is going to play. That's generally speaking what it means when you're questionable. It's like there's a slight chance you don't play. I think that the running game is going to be key because that our O-line is really good at run blocking, and their D-line not so hot at getting to runners. A really good pass rusher, Will Anderson, and Quinn Williams is good on both run and pass downs. But in the run game, Quinn Williams is basically going to be doing it by himself. He's going to be a lone ranger out there. Their linebackers are pretty good, but one of them's getting kind of old. CJ Mosley's getting kind of old. He's still playing well. He's got good instincts. Reminds me somewhat of Lorenzo Alexander back when he was with us at the end of his career. Still good, but just I think that the Bills' run game is going to be key in this game. Teron Johnson is questionable as well, so he's probably back. So, with James Cook playing, most likely, or not, the run game is going to be key in this game. The Bills are going to have to run the football. Point blank period. They're going to have to run the ball. Now, after that, they can run some play action. Right? Establish the run, get some play action, use your check downs, and you have to really facilitate to the defense that you're not going to get away from the run, that you're going to control the time of possession, and you're going to control the field. The Buffalo Bills are going to have to establish the run. Then you can use your Shakirs, your Colemans, your Kincaids. I think Kincaid is going to be another key in this game. I think that that he's going to be somebody who's going to have to really play his heart out. Dawson Knox is going to be another key to this game on offense. On the defensive side of the ball, Terrell Bernard in the middle of the field is going to be very, very welcome. Right? We didn't have him for most of the year. He comes back. Last week, he gets an interception on C.J. Stroud, who at this point is better than Aaron Rodgers. Let's just call it what it is. You have Terrell Bernard out there who can guard tight ends. Tyler Conklin is going to be out there. And so with that happening, you can actually take care of business. Terrell Bernard can take care of that. And then you can use Dorian Williams for what he's best at, which is going after the quarterback and hitting the running backs. He can actually pin his ears back and do what he does the best. Now, if you ask me, which you didn't, the corners are going to be key as well. You have Garrett Wilson, you have Mike Williams, you have Conklin, you have Malachi Corley, you have a bunch of good receivers there. I think that Garrett Wilson may be a little overrated, but I also think that he's still pretty damn good. And so what it boils down to me is our corners who are playing excellent. If Taron Johnson's back, we can lock down those corners. With Terrell Bernard back, he can lock down the tight end. If our front four can get to Aaron Rodgers, we should handily beat the Jets. That's a very big ask. That's a very big if. The Buffalo Bills need to be on their P's and Q's in this game. And that's how we win the game. That's how we would have to win the game. We're not going to win this game trying to finesse them. It's not going to happen. We're not going to out-finesse them. They're too talented for that. We're going to have to out-muscle them. We're going to have to out-physical them. Let's see. Let's see. This is why we need a new kicker. Remember the year ago facing the Chiefs? This is why we lost the game. You need we need a kicker. See, not true. The wind took the ball. Even Kelsey said it. If he would have made the field goal, they had enough time to go down the field and score. Yeah, hey. See, thoughts on the Bills' pass rush and their ability to get off the field on third down. Look, they had a miserable time doing that. They've had a miserable time doing that. Greg Rousseau showed up week 1. He hasn't showed up since. Von Miller was showing up week to week to week with only 1 sack, but still, he showed up. Now he's out. Dewan Smoot showed up last week, and Casey Toohill's been nice coming off the bench. So if the Bills can use those guys properly, FG, which I haven't talked to you in a while, holler at me, boy. But with all that being said, like the Buffalo Bills pass rush needs to step it up, especially on third downs. If you got them on 3rd and 8, there's no way that you shouldn't be, pinning your ears back and trying to get to that quarterback. And it seems like they're getting close, but they're just not getting there. And it's like everybody on this team is Jerry Hughes when he was for last year. He was here. It was pretty poor, and so the Bills need to fix that because I'm not liking what I'm seeing out of the Buffalo Bills. Josh doesn't need to play hero ball. Agreed. Hero ball is overrated, and I don't like it at all. He needs to do his job, read the field, and take what's given to him. Defenses are there to take stuff away from you. You have to figure out what they haven't taken away and take that. Go with that. Go that route, right? It's like a maze. You can't go where the wall is. You have to go away from the wall, right? You follow the wall and see where it takes you. No different. Josh needs to read the field and see where his outlet is. If his outlet is 15 yards on the field, fine. If his outlet is 5 yards on the field, fine. If it's at the freaking line of scrimmage and the guy has to go create something, give him a freaking chance. But it's not sustainable to keep doing things the way they're doing. But guys, the show's almost over, and so I'm going to go ahead and give my prediction. I think that this is going to be a relatively average scoring game. I don't think it's going to be low scoring. I don't think it's going to be like 13-10, but I also don't see it being 35-31. I don't think it's going to be that crazy. I think that the Buffalo Bills will win this game 20-17. 20-17. Unless some crazy stuff happens and defenses start scoring points like mad, I think the Buffalo Bills beat them 2017. I got Josh Allen throwing 2 touchdown passes. I got him hitting Keon Coleman, and I have him hitting Khalil Shakir for touchdowns. I have Tyler Bass kicking 2 field goals. I have the Jets. Breece Hall's going to get one in. He's going to run one in. And I've got, surprise, Malachi Corley catching a touchdown pass from Aaron Rodgers. He may be on Taron Johnson. Taron Johnson's coming back from injury. Maybe there's a zone busted or something like that, and Taron Johnson's supposed to pass him off, and something happens. DeMar Hamlin has an oopsie, or Cole Bishop has an oopsie, and all of a sudden, you're doing that. But I think that the Buffalo Bills win this game 20-17. Anyway, guys, you guys have a good rest of your night. Enjoy your Sunday night football every day, all day, twice on Sundays, and twice tomorrow on Monday, because that's game day, baby. Let's go, Bills. God bless you all. Have a good night.